From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Here are today's headlines. An Arab League summit on Gaza is taking place today in Cairo. It's been in the works since shortly after U.S. President Donald Trump proposed a U.S. takeover of Gaza and the displacement of its population into neighboring Jordan and Egypt. Yesterday, Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati held a series of talks with Arab foreign ministers ahead of the event. The National's Hamza Hendawi reports.
Apart from building a united Arab stance that is opposed to President Trump's proposal, also on the agenda of the summit is an Arab plan for the reconstruction of Gaza to counter President Trump's proposal, and which does not involve the resettlement of Gaza's 2.3 million residents outside the enclave. That plan has its genesis in an Egyptian blueprint. But sources here say there can hardly be any progress on the ground as to the reconstruction of Gaza without a permanent ceasefire and the withdrawal of Israeli troops.
The talks come on the fourth day of Ramadan, 2 days after Israel blocked the entry of all humanitarian aid to Gaza. It claims that Hamas is in violation of a last-minute U.S. suggestion to extend the first phase of the ceasefire in Gaza throughout Ramadan and Passover. Israel had blocked negotiations for the second phase of the ceasefire. It was supposed to start on March 1st. That progression would have required Israel withdraw its troops from Gaza.
The Arab Summit takes place at a time when the Gaza ceasefire seems to be in great danger after Israel insisted not to enter second phase negotiations that would entail an Israeli withdrawal from Gaza and a permanent ceasefire. Instead, it wants the first phase extended until next month with a continuation of the exchange of hostages held by Hamas for Palestinians imprisoned in Israel. Hamas, for its part, has emphatically rejected the Israeli request, and that in turn makes the outbreak of hostilities in Gaza a real threat. And if that does happen, then any talk about donors pledging money for the reconstruction of Gaza or the construction of Gaza itself seems irrelevant or at least premature at this point of time.
The Oscar goes to No Other Land.
Reactions from the Middle East continue to pour in after Palestinian-Israeli film No Other Land won Best Documentary at the 2025 Academy Awards. It's the first prize won by Palestine at the Oscars. The documentary depicts the struggles faced by Palestinian journalist Bassel Adra as he attempts to protect his West Bank village in Masafir Yatta from Israeli settlers.
About 2 months ago, I became a father, and my hope to my daughter that she will not have to live the same life I'm living now, always fearing settlers' violence, home demolitions, and forest spill displacements that my community, Masafir Yatta, is living and facing every day under the Israeli occupation.
Adra co-directed the film with Israeli journalist Yuval Abraham. The win comes at an uptick in Israeli military activity in the West Bank that's displaced tens of thousands of Palestinians from their homes. Since its release in 2024, the film was distributed in 24 countries, including the UK and France. But it's been shunned by studios in the US, where the film's production team has relied on self-distribution. Iran's Vice President for Strategic Affairs, Javad Zarif, announced his resignation on Monday. It's another setback for reformists 7 months after moderate President Masoud Pezeshkian took office. Official news agency IRNA said Zarif, quote, resigned on the advice from the head of the judiciary to help relieve pressure on the administration of President Masoud Pezeshkian, unquote. As of Monday, Pezeshkian has not officially commented. Zarif was an architect of the Iranian nuclear deal in 2015 during his time as foreign minister. His departure puts the question of U.S.-Iran dynamics at center stage, as Pezeshkian followed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's declared opposition to holding talks with the U.S. This is Zarif's second time stepping down from the same office. The first time was in August last year, after only about 2 weeks in the role, but he later returned to the job. Recently, he'd also been under pressure from conservative politicians who argued his appointment was illegal because his children hold U.S. citizenship. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.